So let's start straight off with our first bit of conversation, and that is as regards news has come out recently about a backstage power shift with the hiring of Nick Khan and the hirings that he is making. Now there is a reason for this, and it is indirectly affected by the Peacock deal. Peacock has essentially made it more clear that they need to focus on a certain area and made it more fulfilling to Vince's preference for what has always been the case when it comes to WWE. Now Vince's preference here is for the WWE to be viewed as a legitimate sport. Vince wants to go back to kayfabe, get back in that as much as possible, and make WWE all about the simple fact that they want it legitimized, real. That's why they hire your Brock Lesnar's. That's why they hire the Ronda Rouseys. That's why now they hire the Adnan Virks. This is something that's ongoing backstage. It's not something that is led by Peacock, it is something that is led by the WWE. But the WWE do see the Peacock deal as a very strong chance for them to gain new casual viewers. They don't want to cater to wrestling fans. They want to cater to sports fans. Every conversation I've ever had particularly about this bears true in that regard. The public relations teams have been told for years, ignore wrestling only sites. Don't offer interviews to websites that focus entirely on wrestling. Instead, offer them to Sports Illustrated, offer them to ESPN, offer them to Fox, all of that. This is one of the reasons we've moved away from Sky Sports to BT Sport in the UK, because BT Sport is more general sport and covers more ground. This is also why some really large scale wrestling sites are not able to obtain any interviews or any backstage information of any kind, because they solely cater to wrestling content. Hello Toxic Predator, glad to see you. These are really, in the grand scheme of things, quite small scale, because it means when they get a CBS or a New York Post talking about their show, it brings them extra attention from the non-wrestling world. What this means is that if you are a hardcore wrestling fan, you are not the WWE's target audience, and you will not be catered to long term. That is what they are planning. Less catering to you and more catering by and large to casual viewers. When I spoke to people in WWE about this, all that they were really able to say is, yeah, of course we're doing that. Because they've been doing it for years, it's not really news. The hiring of Nick Khan was designed almost entirely to bring that feel, hence Adnan Virk, hence Pat McAfee, hence some more changes they will be making to the way that they film things and the way that they produce things. Edidas, is the implication that they were catering to wrestling fans in the past? Yes, it was, because back in certain times, back in the Attitude Era, certainly, they were catering to wrestling fans, but almost immediately after WCW sank, that was over. That was absolutely over. I see what you're saying, Edis. Edis says, I'm sure wrestling fans would argue that they never have. Depends on the wrestling fans, but this is one of the reasons that AEW, for example, is doing so well at the moment, because they are catering to a hardcore wrestling audience, which is still there. They are very open about the fact that they have wanted to cater to lapsed wrestling fans, and they have been achieving that.